Why does anybody care about this show? It's stupid.
Fucking son of a bitch.
It's just like white people are the worst.
So.
I'm not wrong.
Anything happens. Anything's talked about. N-E. Okay. So, is this working now? It's super low now. Oh, I think because I was right the other way.
Oh, yeah, you were adjusting and it didn't matter.
There we go.
It was like on the other microphone.
All right, now it works. Oh, I got
so much red.
Future me.
Don't worry, you'll be drunk and it'll be like 3 in the morning. And
oh God, I'm
sober
doing
you up
this.
for 10 seconds.
God. Okay. I heard that. Yeah. Okay. So, NYCC thing. New York Comic Con.
No, there was a bird, and they're like mating or something, and this bird got real puffy, and it freaked me out because it was like a weird angle on the bird. Look at it.
Oh hey.
Yeah, look how it's just filling up with so much air.
Oh, you heard that? Look, it heard me.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. It stopped. All right. Anyways, New York Comic Con. Way to fucking ruin.
Can we blame Stephanie?
No, it's my managers.
Alright, we should start with what I think is the good.
Okay.
Which is Daredevil season 3 looks really fucking good.
Do we want to start on the good? Well, yeah, because the good's gonna be like
positive.
and then at the end we'll just like
at the end we'll talk about Aquaman. Jason Momoa. But yeah, Daredevil season 3. It looks really interesting. I am super excited. We're finally getting Deadshot.
Dude.
And it looks like a really crazy, interesting like take on him because they're combining a few different characters into this version.
Yeah. What? No, come on, man. Bullseye. You just said Deadshot.
Edit that out.
I'm gonna
just
do
like
like
have it, but just like cut out the audio and put you going
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Bullseye.
Now it's my turn to rage quit the podcast. Fuck. God damn it.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. Okay.
Fuck.
Hard.
Bullseye. Right?
Yeah. That's okay. Yes. So
Bullseye looks really cool and really like creative antagonist for Matt.
Oh yeah.
Especially where he is in his story. And I'm excited that they're back to having Fisk being a main antagonist as well, because he was so great in season 1 and they really only used him a very small amount in season 2.
Which I was fine with because it gave growth for other characters.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was excited for Elektra in season 2. I thought she was great, but what they ended up doing with her in Defenders was really shitty, so it sort of taints how much I appreciated her in season 2. But Fisk, I'm excited for that he's back. Bullseye, I had to think about it. Bullseye looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it raining?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck.
Are your windows down?
Yeah.
Why would you leave your windows
Because
down?
the smell makes...
Stop your recording.
No.
Okay. You just want me to vamp for 2 minutes? Okay.
Doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Alright. Here we go. Rockhampton. Listen to him.
For the parachute, they going AWOL the second that the light is on. It's a treat and it's on me, she hit the powder room. I pull it back and check my roots and yeah, I'm about to bloom. It's at 90 way, some hell shit. I lit like when the lane switch. Come back how you bell, strobe light and hit the kill switch. Neck twist like it.
Did you glamp?
Did I glam?
Glamp?
What is glamp? I said vamp.
Glamorous camping.
What? What? What the fuck are you talking about?
Daredevil 3 looks.
Daredevil 3?
Looks good. Season 3.
When are you talking like an idiot?
It's okay.
No,
So Deadshot looks cool.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be really good. At least I hope it is, because I mean, of the Netflix shows, Daredevil is definitely on like a huge upward arc. Cause like season 1 was already good, season 2 got even better.
I think the last episode could have been better, but yes.
I mean, it was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. So like season 3, I have high hopes for, because like Jessica Jones was like the highest, and then it sort of went down a lot in season 2. Luke Cage was like in season 1, but then it like got really good in season 2, and then Iron Fist. Who cares? It doesn't even get to be on the graph.
Yeah.
It's shit.
Iron Fist went from like a 5, and that's generous.
Oof. Whoa. Someone's giving today.
5 out of 100.
Okay, that's. I'd be worried.
No, and then season 2, from like the first 5 minutes that I watched, it jumped to like maybe a 10.
It's just shit. We don't need that show.
And Defenders is somewhere in between Iron Fist.
Yeah, Defenders
1
is
and
not
2.
good.
Yeah. So disappointing.
There was a couple of good,
Come
like
on.
good scenes, but like as a whole, it was like a shitty. It was like, hey, what if we made Daredevil boring, and and also focus more on Iron Fist, because everybody loves Iron Fist, obviously.
See,
and then make the two interesting characters, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, be like background characters.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Iron Fist
that's stupid.
was like the only time I really liked Iron Fist was when he was in the episode with Luke Cage. Like, I was like, man, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. That was a good episode of Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And it featured Dan, which
yeah,
is weird.
Exactly.
Though that fight scene was pretty pathetic, where they're like in the warehouse, and it's like, hey, punch my hands, and there's like a sonic wave, and it's like,
but that's how it is, because he's like the immovable object.
Yeah, but it's not like they practice that. They've never done that move.
You don't know just because it's off season.
Because Luke Cage is like, what are you talking about? Like, they didn't have this whole like fastball special.
He was just like this. He was like
X-Men.
He was like, hit my hand. He's like, are you ready for it this time? And he was like,
yeah, because like he punched Luke Cage in the face.
Or maybe
and
they
then
did it
he was
before.
like, oh, what are you talking about? And he's like, hold out your hand. Like, he had to walk him through it. And then and like, it was so cheesy. It was comic book cheese, and like, it was like the dancing in Spider-Man 3 for me. It was like,
oh,
why
no,
are we doing this?
No, it was
Why are we
not
doing
that
this?
bad. It was not
Like,
that bad.
Limp Bizkit should have been playing in the background, not like NWA or whoever it was. Or RZA or something. I don't think they're in the same group. I know RZA's not part of NWA. Don't at me.
Oh man.
But back to good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. The 2 trailers have both been really, really good. I'm hyped.
Yeah, no. I like that they're mixing like the stories, and they're doing it in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
The story with like Kingpin coming out and like running amok, and then or like coming out of prison and just kind of trying to gain or regain control over everything, and then Bullseye coming into Daredevil space. Now, at the time in that comic, when that story happened, obviously Bullseye was already established, but I think
Deadshot.
I almost thought I fucked up. It was not me. It was you. God. Having him like already kind of established. Here's the thing. I'm good without any more origin stories. I'm good with it. Like, I think some of them we're gonna need, right, for like Captain Marvel. Like, it's needed. I think.
But there's a better way to tell an origin story. It doesn't have to be like what we had for like 7 years where it's like, I'm just a normal guy with a bit of a bad attitude, and then something sad happens to me, and I learn how to be a hero. Like, every, like, first Marvel movie for a character was, like, exactly the same. But we're, like, starting to get new ways of doing it. Like, the newest Spider-Man movie was, like, our introduction to Peter, but it's like, you already know what's going on. We're just gonna blitz through it.
Yeah. So yeah, I like it. I dig it. I'm glad it's happening the way it's happening.
One thing I don't understand, this is just like about like character that I don't get. Like Wilson Fisk feels like Lex Luthor to me in a way that's like, why do people trust him? Like how many times does he have to like try to blow up your city or like tank your like economy or like fight a hero and then it's like, no, let's make him president. It's so frustrating.
I will let you reanalyze what you just said. Think about the real world. That's why.
They're completely different situations, and this is a positive moment that I'm trying to. We're still on the positive of this pod. If you want a Kavanaugh pod, we can talk about that, and I can fucking talk about Senator Murkowski and Flake and how much they're just scumbags and liars.
See, the crazy thing is you just named people who I don't know, and I swear they could be like comic characters, like comic villains.
I mean, Flake is just like a lame name that a flaky senator would have. Jeff Flake, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, so Daredevil
looks good.
It looks
all positive. I am not positive about Aquaman because I haven't been since Justice League, and they've proven me right with every trailer and featurette that's come out. It's going to be bad.
So
also, a thing that I've realized is probably going to be bad, like a sign that something's going to be bad, is each time they do like the big San Diego Comic-Con, Conan O'Brien goes there, and each comic book movie that he gets to have like a panel on his show is bad.
Wait, no,
he did that with Suicide Squad,
but he did
bad.
He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah, Volume 2. I should have said Volume 2.
And that movie was a disappointment compared to the first one.
What? Nuh-uh.
First one is better than the second one.
Whoa.
It's still a good movie. It's still fine. But it's not as good as the first one.
So what's your rating on the first movie?
Oh, it's like a 9. Like 9.5. It's an amazing movie.
What's your rating on the second one?
Like an 8. It's still good. I still have a lot of fun in that movie.
See, I think... Interesting. I think we're on the same point as rating Volume 2, but not Volume 1. Volume 1 I would have actually said it was an 8, and Volume 2 I said is like an 8.5. So
they're almost the same to you.
Volume 2 was just a little bit better for me.
I know this is a tangent, but I mean part of what I appreciate about Volume 1 is how much of like a breath of fresh air it is compared to like the rest of the MCU and just like comic books, movies in general. And I mean, it's hard to capture that feeling in a sequel. And that's just something that it intrinsically gets because of when it came out. And you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, Volume 1 was essentially one of those movies where we didn't get the archetype, like, origin story.
Yeah.
It was just like, all these people are who they are.
You're meeting them as they are, as Peter Quill is meeting them, and you're following them in that sense.
I can see that. I personally still say Volume 2 was a little bit better. Yeah, okay. But I get what you're saying. I can respect that analysis.
Cool. As long as we agree I'm right. Anyway, Aquaman's going to be shit. It's going to be bad.
Damn, you're right
that
again.
Joke, that scene that they showed where they're in the Sahara. Yeah, I'm assuming you watched that 6-minute thing.
Dude.
And it's like...
My boy Rory didn't believe that it was a 6-minute trailer. I made him watch it. It's a 6-minute trailer. And it is not good.
Yeah.
I
so now that
was excited. Then I was kind of excited. Now, why even watch the movie? Like, we just watched the movie in that 6-minute trailer.
Yeah,
like,
that's very true.
Fuck. At this point, the only reason I want to watch it is because Black Manta. Because it's like, now we still don't know like what his purpose is, what he's in there for. But
I feel like they're just setting him up to be a
And
part of the
Mira.
Legion of Doom.
Mira's beautiful.
Yeah, she's fine. But I feel like Black Mantle's just going to be in there long enough to be like, he's established as Aquaman's antagonist because Orm's probably going to die or something. So now he's the bad guy, and we're setting up the Legion of Doom. So now Black Manta's going to be that person. It's sort of like why they're introducing Cheetah in the 80s in the new Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
It's because she'll be the big Wonder Woman villain, and whenever they do Legion of Doom, because it's not like they're going to do Giganta or something, and Ares would not participate in the Legion of Doom.
And Ares is dead.
Allegedly. I mean, there's not really, like, they could do, oh god, whatever the fuck her name is. She's like a witch. She's a part of Odysseus' myth. She's like a mystical Greek antagonist for Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say not Zatanna.
No, not Zatanna. Why the fuck are we talking about? What? Aquaman sucks. They made a really bad pee joke in that thing. That's the thing I've been trying to get at for 5 minutes, and you keep interrupting. But I mean, like, they're in the Sahara because Atlantis was there. Okay. And Jason Momoa's like, oh no, man, this shit's so old. This was so not wet. That's what it sounded like to me, Jason Momoa talking. And then it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Let me do this cool thing where I take your brow sweat and then it activates it. And then Aquaman goes, oh, pee. I could have peed on it. Dumb bitch. Yeah, dude. It's going to be so bad.
God.
I don't get it. I don't get why DC sucks. I don't get why they're so bad.
I will tell you.
And they made his golden green armor look like shit at the end. It looks so bad.
Really, I actually
because it looks like the CG isn't done on it because it does not look real. Yeah. And it looked like its head was like 2 inches to the right of it, and so like
really?
To me,
okay,
it could have just been because it was like I watched 6 minutes of shit and then that was the ending shot, and it's like, oh god, this looks so lame. Like, they're just making so many bad choices.
Yeah. So,
and I want more for Jason Momoa. Because he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's so a good actor.
Yeah. So, 2 things. One related to Aquaman, one semi-related to DC, but entangling with Marvel. So, Aquaman's going to be bad.
Yes.
But, it's going to be even worse because watching through the 6 minutes, to me personally, and it goes back to a callback on a pod that we did. I think it was actually our first pod. Holy shit, wow. Way callback. But I think, and to me, this entire movie looks like it's going to be DC's rip-off version of Black Panther.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
It's brothers going to war against each other,
different
fighting.
Tribes in that community.
One's going to die, and then... Yeah,
because of a different philosophy about how to interact with the rest of the outside world when you're in a secluded area that the land dwellers or the colonizers don't know about, and we need to rule them because we're the right ones.
Yeah,
and
exactly. So that's my first point.
And I'm sure it's going to be a situation where like Jason Momoa doesn't agree with it, just like Black Panther didn't agree with it. And Mira is essentially going to be, oh god, what's her name? Lupita Nyong'o's character?
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o's character, where she was like right from the beginning.
Okoye.
And not Shuri, it's Nakia.
Nakia, there you go. Yeah.
Where Nakia's like, hey, this is what you should do, Black Panther. And he's like, no. And then Killmonger comes out and has a crazy idea. It's like, you know what? I had a great idea. We should do it this way. And Nakia's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I could have saved us 3 days and like 7 million lives.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like Mira's gonna have the right idea, and Jason Momoa's gonna bro out and get it wrong, and then be like, you know what? I should be king and do this the right way.
Yeah. So
dumb.
So that was my first point. Second point. You talking about Black Manta being the Legion of Doom, or is that what it is, right? Yeah, Legion of Doom is DC's.
Yeah, it goes by a few different names, but I mean it's pretty much gonna be Legion.
Okay. Well. So, Marvel just announced coming out of NYCC. They are contracting out
Oh yeah, a script,
for the Dark Avengers.
which seems odd, but
Dude.
it could be interesting.
Odd, but I'm fine with it because every single time DC like is hinting at her an idea or like trying to do something, Marvel's just like, oh, you want to do that? Let's just flop our fucking massive junk onto the fucking table, scare the shit out of you with our iguana, and just be like, yeah, our idea is better. Thanks for it.
I feel like that's just something they're gonna say, and because like the Fox thing is gonna come, like that deal is done pretty much, and Feige has access to all these characters. I feel like there's just gonna be so many other things they're gonna be pressured to do, like characters and IPs, rather than do that. Like we're supposed to have a Thunderbolts movie, that's not gonna happen. Like,
It's been rumored.
yeah, it's
but
been
I don't
rumored for a
think
while,
it's-
and they've like sort of there was like a script or something for it, and like nothing's ever come of
Well,
it. And
so there
nothing.
was-
I feel like that's what the Dark Avengers is going to be, because I mean it's like we need a Fantastic Four movie. They got to reboot the X-Men, even though the Dark Phoenix movie is going to happen, which I'm amazed that they're still putting that movie out.
And the new Mutants is gonna happen.
yeah,
too.
that's still a thing. Like where's they're only going to do 3 movies a year. Which, I mean, is still so much, but it's like they're only going to do 3 movies.
Yeah.
Like, where's the Dark Avengers going to go? Because they have to rebuild the Avengers team first.
We'll have the rebuilt Avengers team at the end of Avengers 4, I think. And the roster, I think, is going to look like everybody here who's in the Avengers 3 minus, like, Iron Man, Captain America, and maybe Hawkeye and Black Widow. But besides that, I think Thor's... I have a feeling
Chris
Thor's
Hemsworth
still
wants
gonna
to stay
Yeah.
and do more Thor stuff.
Plus, after fucking Avengers 3, and then ultimately Avengers 4, you cannot give him that much power and that much more hype as a character, and then just be like, trashed, eliminated. There's no way.
Because he's, like, unlocked all of his power. He has his God Killer axe.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see, and I encourage you to read it, and I can give you the website again if you... Oh, well, yeah. You
I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Read starting from this current run of Thor 5, because it's talking about, like, old man Thor, and it's, like, going into the future. It's really good, really interesting, and it's talking about, like, just ultimately what happens when the end of the universe. And it made me think yesterday, because I read it yesterday. Granted, this comic came out like 3 weeks ago. I'm like really behind on my reading, but it made me think this could be something that we see in the movies with the merging of Fox and Marvel, or Fox and Disney, because I won't say too much, but a big power force in the X-Men universe goes to war with Thor, and it's pretty crazy.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, like, the only, like, big force in the
Are you
X-Men
kidding me?
universe.
There's like
What is, like...
Apocalypse.
But that's not, like, a force. Apocalypse is a person. If you say force, it's, like, the Phoenix Force.
Okay, I guess. Alright, well...
I was like...
Well, okay,
well, the only other...
that's not a huge spoiler, because it entangles more than just the Phoenix Force. But ultimately, it's Phoenix Force versus Thor, and it's really fucking cool.
I'm also just sort of... I don't have really the attachment to it in the comics, but, like, just in terms of movies, I'm really done with the Phoenix Force being, like... It seems like a crutch where for in the X-Men universe, where it's like, all right, we have to get to it because Jean has to be him. They have to fight for Jean. They
Phoenix
have to save
Force
her.
is to X-Men what the Spider-Man Uncle Ben scene is to Spider-Man. They've rebooted it so many times.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I really don't think the new X-Men movie is going to be good at all.
Oh no, Dark Phoenix,
I haven't seen Apocalypse just because I know it's trash.
Really? Actually,
yeah, I just completely avoided it.
Really? Interesting. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was... First off, it wasn't to the hype that they gave it, and I knew it wasn't going to be to the hype it gave it. But it was still a solid, like, I don't know, C. It was fun. Interesting.
Oscar Isaacs. I love Oscar Isaacs as an actor, and I just hated the makeup they put on him. It made him look terrible. But about Phoenix Force, they're just like... Or Dark Phoenix, whatever the fuck the movie is.
Dark Phoenix.
There are like 3 things that are already bugging me about it. One, Sophie Turner is not a good actress.
Really?
She's a bad actress, and is just like very wooden. She doesn't have like a lot of dynamics or range or anything that like me personally draws me in as thinking like she has depth as an actress. So that bugs me. And if it's going to be a movie all about her, I already don't care. 2, I'm tired of seeing Magneto do something, and then, alright, I'm going to go into the woods and wear a lot of flannel and get some scruff because I'm going to isolate myself again every decade over and over, and then something's going to happen where I have to go deal with Charles because Charles is such an altruist that I have to go and be kind of a dick after pretending to be his friend, and then I'm going to go back to the woods and have my family killed again. Like, I'm tired of that with Eric. Just make him fucking Magneto. Instead of having him being like a steel worker in Montana, at the end of after Apocalypse, have him be like, okay, here's the lesson I learned from Apocalypse. I'm gonna go start Genosha. Give him something that he's doing.
But that's what that movie is. You know that's gonna be in the movie Genosha.
I have no idea because I didn't watch that movie. So I'm just saying my frustration.
Wait, no, the trailer. It shows it in the trailer.
They don't call it Genosha.
You don't have to in the trailer. It's gonna be Genosha.
It could be, but I don't know that as of right now. I'm just saying, in the trailer, I see again.
Okay.
Eric in flannel, scruffy in the woods, complaining about fucking Professor X.
That's
what he's done for 3 movies.
I want him
and
to
I'm
stay
tired
as Magneto.
Of it. I want him to actually be Magneto. He's Magneto for the last 25% of the last 2 movies, and he's just a whiny bitch because he's sad because his family keeps dying, and I want him to actually do something that's Magneto-like. He doesn't really have ideals that he pursues. He has, like, platitudes and, like, speeches. He's exactly like Professor X, except X actually built a building to have kids come and do something. Magneto just goes and cries in the woods. I'm tired of it. I want actual Magneto where he builds Genosha and has whatever happens there. He can have other kids. He has another kid who like has magnetic powers. Like fart her out, and then you got a fucking kid. Like you don't need to have like I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Quicksilver, and I don't think Scarlet Witch is going to be in the X-Men universe. So just have the other daughter be around. Give him something that's actually Magneto, not this weird sad shit that I'm tired of seeing. And you know what? Fuck ties in football.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?